Good afternoon. My name is Shelby. I have a question for you. Do any of you think that a dog should be executed for biting someone? Anybody? By execution, I mean being euthanized or being put down, basically, is what euthanize means. Okay, now I want to tell you why I think dogs should be not executed, because to me it's just not right unless there's actually a reason that you have. Most dogs that have bitten someone or is because they are either defending themselves from others because they have felt threatened in some way or another. So by being threatened, I mean like they were protecting something or you were being like scaring them and they like got really jumpy about something, or there could be a whole bunch of other reasons why, which I will explain these reasons in my speech for you. So some dogs are actually just being protective, like I just said. What is around them. So like if there's a child and like certain breeds like German Shepherds, Rottweilers, or any dogs like that, like even pit bulls, they can be overprotective over something that they have. So like a child, for instance, or their owner, or their food. So like if a stranger can come up to you, they may feel like instinct-wise protectiveness. They may become aggressive towards that person. And if they feel threatened or if they think you're being threatened, they may snip at that person. So, or they could even become over their toys. They could become very protective over. Um, Protectiveness is just an instinct in dogs, and aggression is like biting can be an act that is done through their instinct. So biting is also an instinct thing for a dog to do because this is how they protect themselves from other things, and this is just something that's natural to them, that's in their nature. So I have many reasons, like my top two reasons that I would like to talk about that why dogs should not be executed for biting and what aggression actually is, and that aggression is not just a dog being bad and just biting for no reason. Like there's actually a reason why. So my first reason is that I have for why a dog may bite you could be caused by aggression. So many people may mistake aggression for the breed of the dog. So like a lot of people mistake pit bulls as being bad dogs or Rottweilers or like the top 10 bad dog list. Um, so the breed of that dog that may bite you, the dog is acting out in a badly manner, or the dog is not trained well, or they just have a terrible owner. So these are many things that people mistake as being aggressive. Well, in this case, this is not entirely true. Aggression is actually a sign of being overstressed. So dogs like us can get stressed very easily, and like when we snap out at people because we're stressed and we don't like control ourselves because we're just like so stressed about things. Dogs actually can get like that. They can have a low stress level or a high stress level. Sometimes it depends on the breed, on whether they're really stressed or not. So many dogs, but not all, do have high levels of stress that can affect the way they act towards people and other things. Stress can cause a dog to act out and may cause them to bite, which is also, again, an instinct. Like us, we get loud, so that's our instinct. So for dogs, it's biting. Many sources of stress can be caused by babies. So like when babies could come up and like grab their ears, grab their tails, or just children in general could be a cause because they're just there and they are just like the pull on the dogs, like take things away from them, put their hands by their mouth, pull on their tails, other stuff like that. If your dog is not trained properly, and it could cause them to bite by being around other dogs. So, for instance, a dog comes up to you, that dog could be aggressive and start growling and show signs of aggression that could cause your dog to bite you or that other person from trying like to stop them from fighting. And another reason, strangers. Strangers is a big thing. So strangers have different sense than what they're used to, and they're people they don't know. So if your dog is out with you and somebody comes up to you, a stranger, and they come and talk to you, and that dog feels unsafe or thinks you're being threatened, they may cause them to react and bite you or bite them. Um, but just from stress, there are also other different types of aggression, meanings and different reasons for each cause. For example, pain. If your pet is ill or in pain, this could cause them to act out because they are not really sure what is going on with their body and it's kind of confusing and they want your help. So, some other types of aggression that could also follow pain and stress can be caused by dominance. So, if your dog is the only one that is living in the house and you bring other dogs in or other people in and they're not used to it, they may have dominance over that. So, like dominance over their yard, dominance over their toy, over you, anything. And other ones are fear and anxiety, and having protection over their values. So, example, new toys, anything like that you can think of. So I actually have body language signs that I would like to show you that show different types of like what you need to look for in a dog if they're stressed, angry, upset, or if they're like moody or uncertain of a certain thing that they see, happy, sad, like anything like that. I actually have a chart right here. It shows different things. So like we have a calm and neutral, anxious and nervous is when like the tail is down. That's what you really need to look for mostly is when their tail is down, their hair is up, their ears are back. If their mouth is open, that means they're nervous and uncertain what's going on, and that you should be cautious of going near that pet. For example, so we have alert. Their tongue is sticking out, their ears are perked, and their legs are slightly back and open. So that makes you want to know that, hey, back up. We don't want you to get bit. And another one, here's the dominant. Right here is dominant. Their tail is wide up, and that is them showing dominance. And aggression is one that a lot of people understand. Aggression is showing where they're actually aggressively barking or growling at you. Their hair will be sticking up for a long period of time, not just like a little bit, but like really sticking up. And their tail will be up, and they will have a certain stance, and you should be noticing that stance, which is kind of obvious. But those are like common dog languages that everybody needs to know. So I feel like if people know these dog languages and they should know that if that dog is showing that and they get bit, that's kind of their fault. So that's why I feel like dogs should not be executed for something that they did for protecting themselves and having that instinct. Okay, when it comes to dogs, they have to have care and attention that you can give them, that they need it all the time. So many people do not give the care that the dog needs. So those are who are more likely to act out are those, for example, who are left outside in the yard that are chained up, that have no attention, no care whatsoever, and they basically defend for themselves. And by this, like they have no human contact. So when a dog has no human contact, like very little besides their owner, and like not strangers or having no contact with other dogs, and basically they're all strangers, this can be a problem in the dog's life. So having a well-trained dog can help reduce the risk of them wanting to act out towards you and others and help reduce the risk of someone getting bit, which is a major thing. Like you need to train the dog to not bite somebody, but try not to overtrain them to where they get confused and it just upsets them because overtraining them can cause stress, which is a factor of biting. So back to like where pain and like illness and stuff was like a factor of the dog biting you because they're confused on what's going on with their body. Maintaining your dog's health can cause your dog to be aggressive towards you or to anyone else. Like even though you're trying to help them and everything, they still might be aggressive. So you need to like take caution and like be careful like what you do and how you're helping them. For example, so I have many examples for this one. For example, like stating previously, if your dog is chained up outside and you pay no attention to them and have them scavenge for their own food, but so like if they're out there chained up and they find food and you're like you don't want them to eat it, so like for example like they have a chicken bone and they're not supposed to eat that, you go and you try to take that food away from them, or they have water, dirty water, and you try to take that away from them that they like are at right now, they may react and try to bite you because they've been out there by themselves, no attention, no care, and just chained up, and they're trying to keep their food for what they want. So if you decide to take their food away, you just be cautious in what you're doing and try to do it when they're not near it. According to statistics, there is actually 65% fatal bites that happen each year from untamed dogs and dogs that are not healthy. So that's something to think about. So, in conclusion, dogs should not be executed from biting someone. That is my opinion, and I hope everybody researches and takes the research in dog language to understand that it's just a reaction and instinct from the dog, and they should not be executed from their instincts. but they should be corrected and they help through the proper training techniques. Dogs that have bitten you are due not just because of aggression, but because of stress, pain, fear, and anxiety. Give your dog the right care and attention. We'll give you a happy dog. Do you want your dog to because they bit someone for a reason?
Just play the run. Here's 25 yards. Yeah. And that's really what's made